These birds are going to be just as scary. It's the Union Wings, or United Wings. What is it called? United Wings? United Wings, which is a very, very popular kind of attack in the Pokemon TCG. We've seen this before with Night March, with Lost March, with another march that I've forgotten. I can't remember what it is. Tea Time? Something like that. Anyway, United Wings deals 20 damage for every Pokemon that has the attack name United Wings in your discard pile. That means our lovely Flamigo here can be dealing upwards of 200 damage depending on how many Pokemon with United Wings are in the discard. We also have this Flamigo with Insta-Flock, which is a very, very cool ability. When we play this card from our hand to our bench, we can search our deck for 3 Flamigo and put them into our hand. That means that if we've got cards like Research or Ultra Ball, we can very easily get our Wings of Union going quickly and get those attack numbers going to the sky. Very, very good. But unfortunately, a normal type Flamigo with 110 HP is not necessarily the best attacker in the format. Instead, we have 2 very useful typings that also have the United Wings attack. The first one, our Wattrel here, is 60 HP, which is a little low, but it is a lightning type attacker, meaning that it's going to be hitting into cards like Lugia and also Palkia V-Star for weakness, which means that twice the amount of damage is going to be dealt, which is very, very strong. We also have Murkrow in this list, another card with 60 HP, but more importantly, it is Dark type, capable of hitting for weakness into things like Gardevoir EX and Mew VMAX. United Wings on Murkrow is very, very strong, plus it's also the only attacker in this deck that can attack with a single Dark Energy rather than a double Turbo, which means that we're not cutting damage when we don't need to. Now, obviously, the list has 12 United Wings attackers, which means we can theoretically do 240 damage if they're all in the discard pile. The problem with that is if they're in the discard pile, they're not attacking, so we're going to solve that problem by using Sudden Transformation Ditto. Ditto is a fantastic Pokemon for these types of decks. It doesn't have an attack, but has the ability to copy any basic Pokemon's attack that is in our discard pile that doesn't have a rule box. That means that Ditto can copy our Union Wings attack and deal the maximum amount of damage, 240, if we get all those cards in the discard pile. Now, 240 is never going to be quite enough. 270 probably isn't anyway, but I've got Defiance Band in this list. I think it's very, very strong. We're often going to be behind, so we're often going to be getting value out of this card, and the important thing about it is, since it deals 30 damage to everything if we're behind, we can use it to attack into other bulkier single prize Pokemon, so we're not limited by Choice Belt into hitting into Vs. We can use this against anything as long as we're behind. Beyond that, the list is pretty self-explanatory. It's down in the description if you'd like to copy it and play along with me. We're going to see if Union Wings can get us a win or two. I'm sure we'll be able to do it. The question is, can we do it using weakness from one of our 2 attackers? Let's find out. It's Wings of Union time. We're going to try and win. Our hand is almost dead. We cannot use Insta-Flock because I did not play it onto the bench this turn. This Nest Ball is going to just be for a Ralts, right? Like, our hand's kind of dead here. We have the Kirlia, we have a Research, it's gonna be fine, and more importantly, we have the Wattrel, and our opponent is playing a Palkia deck of some description. I'm hopeful that it's Chen Pao, because Chen Pao is fun to say, it's cool to use. Chen Pao. Chen Pao. Also, Palkia is weak to lightning, so we don't need to get as many United Wings Pokemon into the discard pile. Also, what did I put on the thumbnail? Did I write United Wings? Did I write Union Wings? What did I say? I can't even remember. To be fair, I made the thumbnail yesterday. After I played, with Tinkerton, I think. I can't remember. My life is just a blur of things that happen at irregular intervals. I'm not sure. I'm in Hobart, by the way. Hello, everyone from Hobart. Hopefully, I'm earning my invite this weekend. Pretty confident that I can do that. I need 20 points to get there. Well, actually, no. Yes. No. Yes. 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 Not that you care. You're just here to see the birds. We want to look at the pretty birds. And we've got them all. We've got the Insta-Flock in the active. Insta-Flock Flamigo. Plus, we've got the Wattrel and the Murkrow. The Wattrel's going to come up clutch here for us. It is Chen Pao. So today we get to say Chen Pao over and over again. There's Chen Pao. Chen Pao. I feel like it's one of those words that an Australian accent is very good at saying. Chen Pao. Chen Pao. I don't know if I want to hear Americans say it. Chen Pao. How? I don't know. Anyway, what am I doing here? We've got a Level Ball, we've got a Kirlia. We've got a Wattrel, we've got a Murkrow, we've got a Level Ball to grab another one of our United Wings Pokemon, which I really like. I might even grab a Ditto, to be honest. Actually, no, we should probably just get the Wattrel. Just get the Wattrel, it's pretty good. To be fair, we probably should get rid of the Murkrows, but that's okay, it doesn't matter, it doesn't make any difference to us. We'll play down to the Defiance Band onto the active, then we will research, we're going to get rid of all of these cards. We don't want them in our hand, we simply want the cards that are going to get us into a game later. And this is going to be very, very handy. A couple of Level Ball to get ourselves some United Wings Pokemon. Get the Murkrow here. We've got the Ralts in our hand already, so we can get a second Kirlia in play. Let's use our Refinement ability. This is such a good ability that's been used by so many decks. We'll draw a couple of cards. We've got a Ditto here, which we can put down. I don't like the fact that I can't get this Flamigo out of the active, and boy, do I hope our opponent knocks it out. And oh my god, I just realized they can Greninja us. I probably should have gotten a Manaphy at some point. Whoops. Let's not talk about the fact that if I get Manaphy, I'm probably going to lose. We're just gonna assume that they go for the Paldea attack onto the active. And if they don't do that and they Greninja us, then I mean, you probably won't see it. But if you're watching, there's a good sign that we don't get Greninja'd. But I don't know right now. We'll wait and see. I hope you like the ASMR. This is kind of weird to me, to be honest. Palkia in the active. Should I speak at regular? I should speak at regular level. Palkia in the active. A Candace. Not a supporter card that we see all the time. Searching some cards from their deck. Not gonna lie to you, I don't exactly remember what Candace does. I'm not going to check. Wowzers, that's a lot of energy. 3 energy plus another Palkia plus a Palkia V-Star. So they are prepared and willing to be knocked out by a potential Wattrel, which I like. I also like the fact that we haven't seen them get a Frigibax into a Baxcalibur yet. Which, to be brutally honest, I didn't speak about this. That is one of the critical things that a Greninja needs to happen. They need to be able to accelerate energy, and right now they're not doing that. So, you know, it's whatever. We wait and see. We wait and see if that's something that they want to do. I don't think it's going to happen. They're kind of doing this thing that players do on Pokemon TCG Live, where they sit and they look. They look at their hand and they go, this is a tough... Ooh, attaching an energy card. Tricky. And then they simply attack. And we are back in the game. We've got ourselves access to an attack here. And hopefully we can attack with not just Ditto, but hopefully with the Wattrel. And if we can take a KO, that would be incredible. So let's throw down the Ditto. I don't necessarily want to commit the Wattrel, the energy, just yet. I will double check. We have a research in the discard pile, so we may as well use that whilst we research this hand away. Sucks losing the energy, but we do find the Wattrel, which is very, very nice for us. I think Refinement is going to be the way to go here. I think we're going to need to get rid of the PokéStop. We want to find a double Turbo Energy, and we find one. How many Pokemon have we got here? What's that? 6? 6 times 2 is 12, times 2 is 240. We are doing 240 damage minus 20 because of the double Turbo Energy. This math is very difficult. We attach the double Turbo Energy here, and then also the Defiance Band will do 260. So we will need to use PokéStop or Wattrel, discard the Wattrel into the discard pile in order to get the KO. Not necessarily something that we wanted to do here, but you know what? We managed to get the Manaphy in play as well. I'm happy. We should all be happy. We're about to United Wings for a KO into a Palkia, and this is what makes this deck so much better than other decks that have the same gimmick in the past. They have strong weaknesses that they can hit. It's still not a great play. It's not like the best play in the world, but we can hit for weakness into Palkia. We can hit for weakness into Mew with our Murkrows. We can hit really, really solid damage against lots and lots of decks. The only issue is that Sableye exists, and as such, this deck will see no competitive play because Sableye absolutely destroys it. We have 3 energy already gone, plus the DTE in the active. I don't know if you saw that. My cat just jumped off my chair. I've been sitting on the front of my chair the entire time. Now I get to actually sit comfortably, which is quite nice. And, what's this? Another Palkia? Maybe we could United Wings into that Palkia. We won't get the Defiance Band, obviously. That won't proc because we are no longer behind. We are in a winning position. And the critical thing here is if our opponent continues to use Hail Blade with their Chien-Pao, then we probably just win the game, right? Like, eventually, we take 4 more prize cards and we win. And into that Palkia on the bench, this Wattrel at the moment is doing enough damage that we'll take a knockout on it. All we need to do is find... I was about to say, all we need to find is another Wattrel, an escape rope. No, we do not. Now we need to do is find Boss. If we find Boss's orders, we can take 2 prizes on that Palkia. We can remove it from play. We can get ourselves something else on the bench if we want, like a Ditto or another bird of prey of some description. We've got our... We've set up. I am so unbelievably impressed because we have set up this deck. Here's a bit of a fourth wall break, right? Normally I play these decks, I play them for hours to try and get a game to work. Find a game that's good enough, a game that's long enough, a game that's entertaining enough, where the deck works and does what it's supposed to do. I'll play 6 or 7 games before I find one that I like. And even then, sometimes I find one, I'm like, well, I don't like it, but it's going to have to do. This is the first game I've played with this deck, and it's incredible. Presuming, of course, that we don't get Boss Manaphy use the Cologne knockout 2 Pokemon and we lose the game. Which could also happen. Very aware of that. There are a lot of energy coming onto the play right now, oh my god, and Lake Acuity is a very frightening card as well for this particular deck, but you know what? I think we're in a good spot. If we can find access to Boss's orders off of our Kirlias, then you never know. You just never know in this world. Plus, we also can just attack with our sudden transformation Ditto. That's also an option. I know you're not arguing with me, but it feels like you're arguing, and I don't like it. Don't argue with me. I know what I'm doing. Mom, I know what I'm doing. Also, because of the Lake Acuity, Chien-Pao has 240 effective HP, I think. Which means that we effectively need to knock it out with every single one of our United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile. And we can't do that because we have one in play. So, we'll wait and see. Let's find the boss, though. Let's just top the... Okay, we didn't get the top deck of the boss. Let's refinement away the Murkrow and get ourselves a boss. Let's go. Draw the boss. It's not a boss. Okay, well, I mean, it was likely. We were likely to get it. It's probably thin now, right? Well, okay, well, I don't want the Flamigo there. We've got the boss. There's 2 bosses in there. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to use our second Kirlia. We're just going to use Refinement to refinement away the Flamigo. And then we're just going to draw into the boss. And that's going to be fine. We didn't draw into the boss. Okay, well, I mean, it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. But it's going to have to be the way that it is. Because that's just the thing. We're doing 140 damage. It's just like nothing. When this deck isn't hitting for weakness, it's doing nothing. We've got Zinnia's Resolve, though. I think that we could probably use that. We don't want to use the Research, because we want to save some energy, I think. So I'm going to get rid of Ralts and Professor's Research, and we are going to draw equal to the number of Pokemon that our opponent has in play, which is 6, if you don't mind me saying so. We've got a Flamigo here. We've got a Level Ball as well. We can grab ourselves out a Kirlia out of the deck. That's not relevant to us at all. Then we can Ultra Ball, I think just the Flamigo and the Kirlia away. We don't need those. We'll get ourselves that last Flamigo out of the deck. We're not going to be able to attack with it just yet. We're going to attack with United Wings with the Wattrel. We accept that it might get knocked out. And now, 2 attacks from us will win the game. One into the active Chien-Pao and one into the Palkia if we're able to get a Wattrel in play. Now, we've got Rescue Carrier in our hand. We've got Basic Dark Energy if we need it. That charm now means that Chien-Pao is impossible for us to knock out. I do not think we can ever get to 270 with Lake Acuity in play, so that's definitely not ideal. The Palkia is much easier for us to KO because the boss's orders can do the job. But we also have 2 boss, right? So we can take the knockout on the Chien-Pao and the active, and then also on the Palkia as well. They are going to use boss to knock out the Manaphy here. Now that is interesting. As you'll notice, we have 4 prize cards remaining. Our opponent up the top has 4 prize cards remaining. If they knock out the Manaphy here, then we can just Rescue Carrier it back into our hand. And then, through the magic of television, since we only have 6 cards in deck, we are almost guaranteed, in fact we are guaranteed, with 6 cards in deck to draw into a boss this turn with 2 Kirlias and a top deck. Now our opponent thinks that they're being smart, they're going to remove the Manaphy, they're going to get an attack with their Greninja, but you know what, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow it to happen. I am going to remove the Palkia from play, I'm going to replace the Manaphy, it's all going to come up brilliantly. What is going on? Why am The energy is so high. The energy is so high because it's almost holidays. I think that's probably why. I'm just very excited about the fact that I'm almost finished with work for the semester, which I am a massive fan of. If you are watching and you're a student, then you'll also be a fan of that. Just don't tell anyone that I'm a fan of it, because, you know, we just keep it between ourselves. It's not a big deal. Don't need to stress, just accept it. It's fine. Alright, Wattrel, here we go. Boss's orders off at the top deck. It doesn't matter what we have in our deck now because the boss is in our hand. Let's just get rid of a few of these cards that we do not need. Let's play Boss's orders, I think, onto the Palkia V-Star. We're going to remove that from play right now. We don't want our opponent to be able to deal with that. I don't know how they would deal with it, but we don't want them to be able to. We've also got plenty of energy on our Dittos. We can now United Wings for 440 damage, which is pretty good. 220 is a significant chunk. And now, 2 prize cards, the double turbo into the hand, the Ultra Ball. We've got all the cards we need. We just need that 1 copy of Boss's Orders to bring out the damage Chen Pao and take the KO. And I mean, it's taken a while. I'm looking at my timer here. It's taken about 15 minutes for us to get to this point. But we are now in what we call, in the business, an unassailable winning position. It is impossible for our opponent to win the game. They could judge us, and then we would have 6 cards left. We'd draw 1. And then draw 4 more with Kirlia, which means that there's a 5 in 6 chance of us drawing the boss. They could gust up the Kirlia, and then we'd retreat with the double turbo energy, which we just happened to unprize. They could use any myriad of cards to try and slow the game down. Maybe they Iono, right? Maybe they Iono us. And, I mean, it's not going to happen now that they've used Melanie, but maybe they Iono us, and we draw until we eventually get there. We are going to win with United Wings in the first outing of us using this particular deck, and that is very impressive, frankly. Like, I was not expecting to do that. When I put this list together, I was expecting to play this game for like 10 hours until I found a game that was good enough, but instantly, Chen Pao comes up and gives us a game that we're capable of winning, and to be honest, that probably doesn't say a lot for Chen Pao, which is a shame, because I like Chen Pao. I like Chen Pao a lot. I like saying Hellblade, I like saying Shivery Chill. I like saying Chen Pao. But you know what? There's naught that can be done. If it decides to just lose like this, it decides to just lose. So we are going to see what our opponent gets done this turn. I think they're just going to Hailblade for 1. It seems like the most likely thing to do. They have no other recourse here. Hailblade for 1. And even if they had managed to use Greninja, we were still going to win this game, it turns out, because weakness is so useful. Boy, is it useful. I don't know what that was. I don't like that. I should cut that. Let's promote the Ditto. Let's promote the Ditto. Let's find out. We've got all of our Union Wings Pokemon in the discard pile. Let's just double check one more time that we do have access. Oh, there's Squawkabilly. I didn't mention him at all. Didn't talk about him at all. It's a good card. We're going to discard it, I think. Just get rid of it. Because we're just double checking that our boss is in deck, and it is. So our last couple of cards were double Hisuian Heavy Ball plus boss. There you go. Refinement, discard a card. It doesn't matter which one it is, because we just want the boss's orders to take the Gust knockout here on our opponent's Chen Pao. We bring it into the active, then we choose United Wings for a single Darkness Energy, taking the KO, taking our last 2 prizes, and what I can only call a hell of a video. That was a really, really fun one. If you like single prize decks, then this deck is one for you. Check it out down in the description if you'd like. Like the video, subscribe, do all that stuff. Look at that beautiful Wattrel. I mean, you can't. There's a big video over the top of it. Click that and enjoy more Pokemon. That would be great. See you later, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed.